All right, we're live. We're live. It's that time of the week. It's the weekly review. I'm Jackson. I'm here with my friend Bill. It is the weekly review. I'm stoked. Stuff happened. There were some signings since we last recorded on Monday live. So, the baseball world read my message from last time. All I want for Christmas is baseball, and they gave me some baseball. So, I'm excited. How you doing, Bill?
Oh, dude, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am, man. It's good times. It is all kinds of the stuff. I mean, it doesn't get any better, Jackson. Like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. I know. All right. So, before we jump into the weekly review, I'll tell you what the weekly review is. Man, I can't speak. I have three things. Bill has three things. We don't tell each other what our three things are, and we just talk about them. We do, a little back and forth. We play a little verbal tennis, talking about our talking points, and you there watching can go, "Wow, these guys have really bad takes," or hey, that was a pretty solid take.
Yeah. Listen, Jackson, if they say we have bad takes, good for them. Whatever. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, honestly, I picked the A's to win the division last year, and I think I picked Toronto to lose 100 games.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I did. So,
yes,
what do I know? I shouldn't go gambling ever. I don't gamble, and that just proves why. But,
Preach.
So, before we jump in, Bill, do we have anything to talk about?
Yeah, we do. Let's talk a couple of things. First, let's talk corporate sponsors, right? So we've got to thank the people that make these shows possible. Number one, Jackson, you have an affinity for Rubies and the people down there in Laguna Beach with the Rubies, right? You need to go in. These people need to go and get yourself a milkshake, get yourself a burger, get yourself whatever you're going to get yourself, right? And then tell them that Jackson and Bill sent you, right? Ask for Ned, ask for Rachel. Rachel's really the boss. Ned acts like he's the boss, but Rachel's really the boss. And then we got to thank Javier Galicia. He is the first financial professional / advisor that has been a top fan rivalry contributor. And Jackson, I'm going to share my screen for a second. I'm going to show you a few things, Jackson. Let's start here by showing you, guys, you can get one of these new cool t-shirts that says, Jackson, what does that say right there?
Bench warmer, more like strategic rest specialist.
That's right. And they don't have to pay $30 for it.
No, they don't.
How do they get a discount?
You never do. Look, I'm pretty sure code Jackson's just like ingrained into the code of the website at this point. Put it in all caps. They'll get you 10% off pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a limit. You can just use it as many times as you want.
Exactly. I'm showing you guys some Journey to 30. I'm showing you a new t-shirt called Top Fan to the Best Fan. You got the family reunion coming up right here, which Jackson's going to miss. You got the collegiate crew neck sweatshirt, Top Fans in baseball. You can get some gift cards. You can get a little hat. In my Think Blue era. We got all kinds of fun stuff. Jackson, we've even got hoodies for the family reunion this year.
Ooh. So hoodies for California. I've been checking the weather in California. It's a lot nicer than here in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen it scrolling down on the bottom of the screen, right here on the home page, there's a Join the Clubhouse. Jackson's written articles. They're up in there. There's all kinds of fun stuff up there. So, get yourself on to that. We love it. Jackson, take us away now with your number one.
I'm excited
for number one.
Christmas came early. The Braves did not one thing, two things, Bill.
They did two things?
Yeah, the Braves had two signings. They signed Mike Yastrzemski to play platoon left field.
I saw that.
The most sure-tube war you're ever going to get from a baseball player. So, round of applause there. And then they went out and they signed a big money reliever. They got Robert Suarez, the tandem at the back of the bullpen, Raisel Iglesias. I don't think Atlanta's done. I think, I know that the Monstars down there in LA have their super team or whatever. I'm sure we'll talk about them in a minute. But, I think there's going to be some competition. There's some teams that have potential to bounce back in the National League. I think it's just going to be the National League slugfest for the next couple of years. The poor American League has to deal with, the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be fun. I think, it feels good as a Braves fan that your team, had a disappointing season. They go out and they make 2 necessary moves. So Christmas came early for me.
Christmas did come early for you. I'm not surprised that you mentioned that early. We will get to America's team, I'm sure, at some point on the show, the Dodgers, right?
The Monstars, yes.
Let's start off with Boston. Boston thought they were going to get 1 or 2 people, right? They thought they were either going to get Kyle Schwarber or Pete, I can't find the jersey that fits me correctly, Alonso, right? They miss out on both. Schwarber stays in Philly. Alonso goes over to Baltimore.
Whoa. No spoilers on future points here.
Oh, I get it. But the question becomes, and there's something on MLB Network I'm looking at, it says 6 options for the Red Sox after missing out on Schwarber and Alonso. And so that's the question mark, is where does Boston go? Because I was on a show last night with Jonna, a huge Yankees fan, and she made a prediction. And I don't know that I disagree with her, Jackson. She said straight out and straight up, there is a great chance that you may see 3 teams, not 1, not 2, but 3 teams out of the American League East next season in the playoffs. And it's a very real possibility.
It's
she's eliminated the Tampa Bay Rays, which I can understand. But besides that,
with how crazy that division is, I wouldn't count Tampa Bay out yet. Let them play.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my number 1, Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts right now for Boston. But again, we've talked about this before, it's a marquee franchise, right? People want to play. When you walk into Fenway the first time and you're on the grass and you're looking at the monster and all of these things, you just love that experience. And so, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really big loss for the Red Sox. They need another power bat, another veteran bat. It'd be nice if they had a big slugging left-handed bat that could play first base and DH on, or third base. But I digress. They got a young team and just running, the youngsters out there. It sounds good on paper, but in practice, you do need a veteran guy to kind of glue it together, preferably one that can play. And like you said, Fenway Park's an iconic ballpark. It's a hard ballpark to play in. You can't just plug and play a lot of guys there because the dimensions are all over the place. It's a nightmare defensively if you're an outfielder because, center field's all the way up in New Hampshire for some reason. But left field's like 10 feet from home plate. So
yeah, exactly.
But it does really feel like the Red Sox were in on a lot of players, but they didn't end up getting anyone. And it might feel like last offseason where they were in on a lot of people, and then they only ended up with Garrett Crochet, and they thought that was enough. It wasn't quite enough.
The way my mind works, it's so weird. My mind works so strange. We're in Christmas time, and I heard the word last, and immediately my mind's thinking, last Christmas. I gave it like random, right? I mean, so random, Jackson. That's not even normal.
You spend too much time in the department store in Christmas time. That's what happened. Exactly. I worked retail, so those songs are permanently erased from my mind by choice.
By choice. I love it. I love it. All right, Jackson, what you got for number 2?
Number 2, I mean, you mentioned it in passing, but Pete Alonso to the Baltimore Orioles. I kind of like this signing for Baltimore. They got a young team. They need a right-handed power bat. Ryan Mountcastle was not very good last year. They did not get a lot of power from the first base position. They go out and get a guy that's going to hit 30 to 40 home runs. He's going to play okay defense, but he's going to slug 850 to 900 in the middle of that lineup. Veteran guy. I think the only thing Baltimore needs to do now is move the left field wall back in a little bit because they also moved their wall all the way out to New Hampshire for some reason.
Yeah, and they've got that weird angle thing that they got going on out there.
They fixed it a little bit. It was either last year or the year before they moved it.
Not enough.
They moved it back 15 feet, and then they moved it back forward like 5 feet. It should just go back to the normal one with the higher wall, honestly. But
True.
It's a good signing. I think Baltimore made a good signing. I like the aggressiveness of Baltimore. They're in on a lot of starting pitchers. I know we're not a speculations podcast, but expect Baltimore to look to bounce back. Because they had a really disappointing season last year, and the window is open with that young core, and they can do a lot of young controllable pieces. They got a lot of really good outfield prospects. They can make a splash.
So I like this signing for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think Pete Alonso brings the bat to the table that Baltimore's looking for. Number two, you've got a lot of young guys over there. You got Halladay, you got Rushman, you got Henderson. They're still, granted, they're still a couple of years into their career, but you've got a lot of young kids that Pete can maybe mentor a little bit, right? And he's away from the spotlight of New York. Doesn't matter if you're in Queens or the Bronx, the spotlight in New York shines a lot brighter than it does in Baltimore. No disrespect to Baltimore. I'm not throwing shade on you at all. But it's just one of those things that you just look at and you say, okay, all right.
Look,
all right.
I'm going to come out and say Baltimore's an underrated franchise to probably play for.
Probably.
It's got an iconic stadium. It's not too big of a market. The fans are great. So honestly, Pete Alonso, I think it's a big win for him too, because Orioles fans are going to be excited. That place gets really rowdy when the Orioles are good.
It does. It keeps him in the East. It keeps him in a division where he's going to get a lot of TV time, right? A Sunday night baseball game is going to be Baltimore versus the Mets if they go to Citi Field this year. If they don't, you're still going to get a lot of TV time. For those of you that aren't familiar with the East Coast and how close things are in the East Coast, Citi Field to Baltimore is a little bit of a drive to Camden Yards, but it is drivable. It is. Yeah. You can do it in a day trip. You can do it in a day trip on the freaking train, right?
Yep. Yeah. Faster on the train.
Yeah, probably. Exactly. Probably faster on the train. So I like that. Okay, Jackson, my number two, and this is one that I want to debate with you a little bit on. Last night I had Jonna on from Babes Media. She was at the winter meetings with On Jersey. Fantastic individual, just does amazing things in her career. And we were talking a little bit about Michael King and bringing him back into the Bronx. I like Michael King as a pitcher. I'd love to get him out of the National League West. What fits for Michael King? Free agent, what fits for him?
Honestly, Baltimore. I think
really?
He can go to a place like Baltimore and be a top of the rotation guy. He's a veteran guy. Again, it's I think he's an East Coast guy too. Started in New York, but Michael King is the kind of guy that a team like Baltimore, it's a really good fit. I think he would be a really good fit. Call me crazy. I know Arizona's got like 15 pitchers, but Arizona, another guy at the top of the rotation that can really kind of push the quality of arms up. But I think Michael King is probably going to be the best value signing of the top free agent starting pitchers. Framber Valdez, obviously, we talked about a little bit last time. He is kind of like the top tier guy. He'll go out and give you 180 innings no matter what. But I think Michael King's one of those ones where if you can keep him healthy, he's going to be really good.
Agreed. Michael King is definitely somebody that he can give you close to 200 innings, and he's well worth it. I like this guy. I like Michael King. So that was my number two. Before we get to number three, let's get back to two things. Number one, you see it scrolling down at the bottom, topfanrivalry.com/clubhouse. There you get the rivalry talks. There you get some articles. In fact, we're going to persuade Jackson right now to write us an article. And I have some ideas that I'll talk to Jackson about offline, but he does a great job writing articles. Love him for that. And So you want to get to there. You're also going to see some of the rivalry talks. You're going to see a bunch of stuff that we're doing, a bunch of plans that we're doing. Top Fan's going to be everywhere. Jackson, in January, I know in January we've got a mixer. I know we've got a softball game. I know we got the family reunion. Like, those are just 3 things, boom, 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 that are happening in January. Forget about all the other stuff that's going on. I mean, it's just insane. So, and then we also want to thank our corporate sponsors. We love Ruby's Diner, and we love everything that they do for us. We love Javier Glacia and what he does for us. He has mentioned, and I should have read it. I've tried to memorize it a little bit, but he handles everything from life insurance to annuities to mutual funds. I mean, he can put a $50 a month mutual fund together for you, or hundreds of millions, whatever you're at. So if you need his contact information, please email info@topfanrivalry.com, and we'll be happy to get you that information. All right, Jackson, what do you have for number 3?
As a certified New York Mets hater, I'm going to say the biggest losers of the winter meetings are the New York Mets. The reports where they didn't even offer on Pete Alonso, which honestly is just the slightest bit embarrassing that you didn't offer your franchise home run leader a contract. It's one thing, to offer him money and him to take more money somewhere else, but not offering him any money after the whole dance you've played with him the last 2 off seasons is absolutely ridiculous. And then letting Edwin Diaz, go to the Dodgers. They gave a competitive offer, but obviously it wasn't anywhere near the package the Dodgers offered. So I think the Mets are significantly worse. They lost 2 of their 5 best players. They traded away Brandon Nimmo. The Mets just kind of feel lost to me, Bill. And you're going to see Juan Soto, get the 4 fingers a lot this season, unless the Mets do something to address their lineup, because their hitting was not good for most of last year. And I don't think playing the young guys is really going to change that too much.
Jackson, let me ask you this question. And I mean, I know that you're just like, because I see the hat with blooper. I know that you're a Braves fan. I know this has got to be making you, as they would say down in the South, happy, happy, happy. But let me ask you this. Let's say you're a billionaire, okay? And from all outside perspectives, I'm just going to give you what I think may or may not have happened. You're a billionaire. You buy a team. You look at it and you think, okay, I got this fantastic asset. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign a couple of people. Get the fan base pumped up, right? And then after I get the fan base pumped up, I'm going to cut payroll, but still that revenue stream will still come in. I mean, isn't this what Uncle Stevie's doing? I mean, his first year, he got rid of Mad Max and Mr. Kate Upton in his first year as owner. Is he not just cutting payroll right now?
I think the Mets and David Stearns in particular are getting a little too cute with their approach. David Stearns, really good recognizer of talent, really good at building a club on the budget. But my question is this. You let Pete Alonso walk. And I know we're not a speculation podcast, but the rumor is, sign Paul Goldschmidt and platoon Jeff McNeil and Paul Goldschmidt to play first base for you.
Yep.
You are a team with World Series aspirations, and that's your plan B for first base.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes, is all I'm going to say. But it does smell of, ownership. They've invested all this money into Juan Soto. Now they're trying to recoup some of the profit back, and they're just kind of like, especially after the collapse. They're not. It feels like they're trying to do like a soft rebuild, and I don't think that's the right move to do after you sign a guy for $700 million or however much you're paying Juan Soto. That's probably not a good idea.
Nope, definitely not a good idea. Definitely not a good idea for sure. For sure. Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on that, Jackson. Here's my number 3, and let's see if we can go back and go through this real quick. Jackson's number 1 was the Braves. Pete Alonso was number 2, then the Mets. I mentioned Boston. I mentioned Michael King. Now I'm going to mention the 2024, 2025, and 2026 World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. You heard it here, right here. Jackson, I'm not counting my chickens before I hatched. I've seen this happen. I'm old enough to remember, different sport, when the Lakers went out, and not only did they have Kobe and Shaq, but they got Steve Nash, they got Gary Payton, they got Karl Malone, they still had Derek Fisher, I think they had Robert Horry, and I believe they missed the playoffs. That being said, Jackson, is it conceivable that if the starting pitching for the Los Angeles Dodgers gives you 18 outs, that it is going to be really difficult to beat the Dodgers if Tanner Scott can have a bounce back year?
That's a really big if. With Tanner Scott, who he was suffering a lot of arm and I think oblique injuries last year, which is kind of a big deal if you're a pitcher. It was a flexor muscle, I think, is what put him out of action for good. I think Edwin Diaz definitely helps the Dodgers, but I do think there is a little bit of a buyer beware on there. Edwin Diaz is known to be volatile, as of all guys with a really big slider and a fastball where they're just kind of throwing it 102, hoping it goes in the strike zone. This could be Tanner Scott too, or it could be the second coming of Eric Gagne on steroids. Yeah. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I do think that the Dodgers, took a really easy opportunity for them. They shed $100 million in payroll. Their biggest weakness was the bullpen. And Edwin Diaz just falls into your lap. Why wouldn't you?
So the way that I'm looking at this in a perfect world, Jackson, and please understand that I know it's not a perfect world, okay, but in a perfect world, this is the way I'm looking at it. When you have a starting row with Yamamoto, with Shohei, with Tyler Glasnow, with Blake Snell, right? And just those, just that core right there, right? And there's others that are going to be in that mix as well. But you have that starting rotation. You've got Emmett Sheehan, you got Gavin Stone coming back, you've got River Ryan coming back. You have all these guys. With skinny jeans in the bullpen, Alex Vesia is what I call Alex Vesia. With skinny jeans in the bullpen, if Tanner Scott ends up being your setup guy or he wants his closing role back, right? Okay, fine.
Oh, no shot they give it back to him. And look, I don't want to take a shot at the Dodgers here. No shot that Edwin Diaz is the concrete closer. That's not how Dave Roberts rolls. You're going to see 5 or 6 guys getting saves.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, Jackson, and the reason why to me this makes it's an interesting thing is because now you're facing or now you're forcing, let's say, the and I'm just pulling up the 40-man row real quick here. Now you're forcing guys like Tanner Scott to be better, right? And we've seen this. Don't get me wrong. We've seen this in Houston when you had Stressley Presley, as they call him in Houston, and Josh Hader. You saw those two guys. It didn't work out so well for them. So it makes me a little nervous, but I'm looking here. We still got Anthony Bonda in the bullpen. We've got Jack Dreyer in the bullpen, Brusdar Graterol, who's coming back, Will Klein, who had an amazing performance in game 3 that went 18 innings, Landon Knack. Oh, let's not forget Roki Sasaki. He'll be a starter this year, right? So between Yami, Roki, Shohei, Tyler Glasnow, Emmett Sheehan, Blake Snell, you get to that portion, I think you got something special going. But what do I know, right? I just work here.
I think the key for the Dodgers is going to be mitigating those starting pitcher arm injuries because the bullpen looks really good on paper, but what will kill every bullpen, and I hate to bring the Mets up again, but they're such a prime example of this last year, where if your starters can't give you length and you overuse your bullpen to get off to a hot start, it all comes crashing down. The Mets looked gassed in the second half because they either had to protect every single lead with a gassed bullpen, or the offense had to try to get back into the game after the starter left after 4, and you're tied, or it's a 1-run game. It's hard to play. It's hard to play baseball like that.
Truth.
The part of the game that people underestimate is the mental part. And when it starts to become a trend, it's mentally demoralizing as a team where it's like, oh, crap, we're going to the bullpen again. We only have a 2-run lead. We got to go out there. We got to swing for the fences because we need at least 6 runs to even have a shot at winning this game.
Truth. Jackson, you're not saying anything that I don't agree with you on, buddy. I mean, this legit is one of those things where I'm just shaking my head and I'm going, it feels good. It feels really good. Don't get me wrong. It feels really good, but it feels really doggone early. It feels really early for anything to feel anything.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but it feels really early. Anyways. All right, Jackson, what do you got for honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. Let's talk about the World Baseball Classic. That's coming up in a couple months.
World Baseball Classic.
And, guys are going every which way, who's playing, who's not playing. I think something to watch is some of these pitchers that are pitching in the World Baseball Classic and how they end up performing in the regular season. I'm surprised the Dodgers let Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitch. I think you'd have to, chain the dude up to not let him pitch because, that guy was warming up one day after he pitched in the World Series. But I would be really worried if I was, a team like the Dodgers, letting my pitchers pitch lots of innings, especially after a long season.
Yeah.
There's a couple teams like that. Toronto's like that. I think there's several guys just going out there and pitching in the World Baseball Classic where you're like, ooh, do I want my starting pitcher there? Probably not. If you're the Tigers and Tariq School pitches for Team USA, aren't you over there stressing?
Yeah. No. So this is how this works. If I'm the owner of a team, I'm like, okay, hey, big fella, you can pitch, you can do whatever you want, but here's your pitching limitation. Here's your innings limitation. Here's because you're playing, I'm paying you. I get the fact that you're representing your country. I get the fact that you love that, but I'm paying you, dude. So here's how this is going to roll. And if we don't like this, then we got a problem.
Yeah, and it becomes that weird game of cat and mouse with the Players Association. Yeah. How you can restrict. Yeah. I'll bring up the Dodgers again. They restricted Roki Sasaki, saying that he was too injured last year. Probably the right excuse to use to try to maybe save him. You can.
Truth.
But
Truth.
I think the World Baseball Classic again is going to be fantastic because I feel like after the last couple iterations of the tournament, teams are really kind of going all in to recruit anyone they can to get this thing really competitive.
Right. 100%. All right. Any other honorable mentions, Jackson?
No, I do not have any honorable mentions.
Okay, so you had the Braves, you had Alonso to the Orioles and the Mets. I had Boston, I had the Michael King, and then the Dodgers. Oh, wait. Hold on, I'm getting breaking news from the Top Fan Rivalry Sports Desk. I don't think Jackson even knows about this. Hold on, wait a second. My honorable mention is right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, we have an official announcement, Jackson.
Oh, no. Anyway.
There it is, everybody. You've heard it here first. Mr. Met signs with the Dodgers.
Do the Mets get to keep Mrs. Met at least? Or is it like a package thing? Do you get like a 2-for-1 deal if you sign Mr. Met? Do you get Mrs. Met too?
Exactly. Who knows? I just I had to mention it. But that being said, let's take you back to the site. Everybody, make sure that you're checking out topfanrivalry.com. Hit this join the clubhouse right there. Check it out. Go over here to the team store. You can get inside the family reunion. That's going to be epic. Jackson, I think we're going to end up with 30 or 40 people there this year here in Newport Beach. Got some new T-shirts out there. Those chasing the 30 top fan of this is my favorite one right here, Jackson. Bench warmer, more like strategic rest specialist, but don't pay full price. Jackson, how do they get a discount code? What do we do?
Use code Jackson. Get 10% off all of your merchandise. Get yourself a hat, get yourself a shirt, get yourself a hoodie. Get excited for baseball season. The stove is hot. We're nowhere near done with this whole off-season thing. Expect, some more movement here in the next week or two right before Christmas as guys try to get paid.
Yeah, 100%. And if you are a card collector, go up here to this TFR Breaks. You can join what they call the 27-ounce club for $27 a month. You get your team in 2 different breaks that month. You get priority access to any other breaks that we do, plus a $5 off coupon. We'll ship the cards out to you once a month. It is absolutely epic. Last night, Jackson, we had an amazing break last night. And man, I wish I had some of the cards to show you, but we did a 2023, 2024, and 2025 holiday mega boxes. And so we got a Senga rookie card. We got a Juan Soto Yankees card. I think I have it on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up. But Jackson, this one was the one that was the one that, oh yeah, here you go. You got a little Shohei action right there, right? Little Christmas Shohei action.
Ooh.
Right. You got a Paul Skeens Christmas action right there.
Nice.
Right. Let's see here. A lot of rookies. There's Senga, rookie cup, Jackson. That's nice. And then of course, oh, look at this. This person paid $26 or $27. They get a $5 off coupon. They're in the 27 ounce club. They have the A's. Check this out. A rookie of Soderstrom game used relic.
Ooh.
Does it get any better than that? We got a Bobby Witt there.
I don't think it does.
Here you go, Jackson. Here you go. Oops. Let me see if I can do this. Here you go, Jackson. Juan Soto on the holiday. The question becomes is why isn't Jackson a member of the 27 ounce club? And the answer probably to that is real simple. The answer to that is probably a really simple answer, and that is that the Braves are gone. But Jackson, the Angels are available. So if you want to gift people, we got Zach Neto cards. There's plenty of teams out there. Anyways, Jackson, what else, if anything? We do these weekly reviews on Thursday. We'll be live here. We're going to be pushing them out. We're going to have guests on. Jackson, is there anything else that we need to tell everybody before we wrap up the evening?
Just hope the stove stays hot. Everyone stay safe. The weather's been crazy everywhere, but we'll see you next week, probably. I will be recording from a different location, most likely. I will be traveling. So
where are you off to?
I'm off to California, Bill.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be out here. What am I thinking?
Bill's
Jackson?
neck of the woods, but
yes. What am I thinking, Jackson? This is going to be epic.
We will aim to be back at this time, 5 p.m. Pacific time is what it will be for me.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yep, there you go. There you go. All right, everybody, we sure do appreciate you. Make sure that you're signing up for the Clubhouse. Make sure that you are subscribing to the YouTube page. Make sure that you're following us on Instagram and X and all of our social medias on also on Facebook as well. Jackson we're probably going to be able to get an article out of Jackson since he's going to be in Cali and he's going to have some time. We might be able to get an article out from this guy.
Yeah. So I might have some people to watch my kids for me long enough to sit down and write something. So
there you go. There you go. Well, we sure do appreciate having Jackson on as usual. Every week we're doing this. You even got some breaking news about a trade today right here on this show. And it was amazing. So Jackson, as a Braves fan, loved that breaking news. So it was great.
Honestly, the only better thing would be get the San Diego Chicken out of retirement. But if he comes out of retirement, it's probably to play quarterback for the Colts at this point.
Probably. All right, we are off to the races. Jackson, stick around for a second, and we will talk to everybody soon. Have a good night, all.